He might be the man least afraid of the police. The police sirens outside echoed through the sky. A large number of police officers rushed to the scene, yet he quietly stood up and removed all his clothes. Standing naked, he waited for the police to break down the door. Without offering any resistance, he was forced into the police car. And this was just a part of the man's revenge plan. He once had a happy family. Until that day, 2 robbers broke into his home, humiliated his wife, and brutally killed his daughter. Yet he was pinned to the ground, powerless to struggle, unable to even let out a painful scream. In just one night, his happy family was shattered beyond recognition. To seek justice for his wife and daughter, Jack hired lawyer Nick, hoping to use the law to punish the robbers. But the robber Bailey managed to escape the death sentence by turning state's witness and pointing out his accomplice. Jack couldn't believe it. He desperately begged Nick for help, but Nick, for the sake of his own success rate, unhesitatingly refused. In court, Nick and the opposing lawyer reached a plea deal, and the judge quietly allowed it. This was a situation that had long been commonplace. After the trial, Nick spoke to the press about judicial fairness, even shaking Bailey's hand. This scene was a bitter irony for Jack. Watching this absurd spectacle, Jack's gaze gradually turned cold. He silently disappeared into the crowd, and a seed of hatred was planted. 10 years passed in the blink of an eye. Nick had become a prosecutor, and had his own family. One day while watching an execution with his assistant, he noticed that after the prison guard pressed the button, the criminal who should have peacefully died, was instead writhing in agony. He ultimately lost his life in pain. Nick felt a tightness in his chest. Sure enough, he found a pill bottle in the room, with the words "You cannot resist fate" written on it. It was Bailey's catchphrase. Nick realized that Jack had returned. Meanwhile, Bailey was enjoying his day in his house, when a strange call suddenly came in, telling him to look out the window. Looking at the approaching police car, he quickly fled the small house. The caller instructed him to go to an abandoned factory, where a police car was waiting for him. In his desperate situation, Bailey followed the stranger's orders, and sure enough, he found a police car at the factory, with an unconscious cop inside. He grabbed the gun and woke the officer, forcing him to drive the police car to a secluded spot. Just as he was about to kill him, his phone rang again. The voice on the other end was that of the cop, and when the officer slowly turned around, Bailey realized it was Jack in disguise. Realizing he had been tricked, Bailey angrily pulled the trigger, but the gun was empty, and he had triggered the poison needle Jack had planted. His body suddenly went numb, and he couldn't move. Jack's true revenge began. He tied Bailey to a bed, securing his body completely, and placed photos of his wife and daughter on Bailey's head. He wanted Bailey to confess to his wife and daughter in pain. Soon, Nick received a call from the police, saying Bailey's body was found at Jack's factory. While searching Jack's room, Nick found a photo of the handshake he shared with Bailey years ago on the mirror. Everyone knew Jack killed Bailey, but there was no evidence to convict him. To solve the case, Nick went to the prison to meet Jack, and pretended to agree with Jack's actions, trying to extract information. After receiving confirmation, Nick was satisfied and prepared to leave, but Jack suddenly denied the crime, saying that the law doesn't consider thoughts as evidence for conviction. Nick angrily asked what Jack wanted, and Jack asked for a soft mattress. After hearing this, Nick left immediately. Just as he was about to leave, his phone suddenly rang. What Jack wanted was never a mattress, but to tear apart the false facade of the judicial system. This blood-soaked revenge was just beginning to show its sharpest edge.